Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Selvi. Today's topic is related to user stories. This is one of the very important topic. The reason being we use the word user story in almost every episode that we have so far created. So what is this user story and what are the things that we are dealing with this user story? First thing, this is a very important concept in Agile technique to capture the functionality or requirement. So you can consider something like a placeholder. When I say placeholder, this placeholder is going to deliver a functionality because it is going to hold so many things. It has its own characteristic feature and it has certain guidelines to follow. So what is the purpose of this user story? As I mentioned, this user story is used in Agile technique to capture a functionality or a requirement that we are going to create. This is the work item that is available for the team level. So is there different levels? Yes, there are different levels. Team level, product level, business level, there are different hierarchies. We will see the hierarchy in a separate episode on what are the different work items we create for each and every level. But as of now, user story is used in team level. When I say team level, team is going to focus on user stories to implement the functionality, as user story is going to capture the functionality. So in simple terminologies, in Agile technique or Agile methodology, user story is a work item to capture a functionality. And this is being used in the team level. Team uses this user story to create a functionality. When I say team, we have different set of people. Like we have a product owner, a tester in the team, a developer in the team. All are going to use this user story to implement the functionality. When I say product owner is going to explain what is the goal of this user story. What are we trying to achieve with this user story? Why this user story got created? All the things will be taken care by the product owner. Developer is going to understand this user story and deliver the respective functionality that the user story is intended for. The tester is going to use the user story to test the actual expectations of the requirement and deliver that with quality. So everyone in the team is using this user story to deliver the requirement or a functionality that we are looking for. So this user story, as I mentioned, we talk from the product owner point of view. So is only product owner is going to create the user story? No, not exactly. But there are different people who are going to create the user stories. But the major contributor is the product owner. When I say major contributor, any product level requirements, any product functionalities that we are looking for will be created by the product owner. Then who else is going to create other stories? There are user stories which target on technical items. Those technical based user stories will be created by the technical architect of the team. We will see in detail what are the different types of user stories we have. So as of now, we talked about only two people, a product owner who is creating the user stories related to the product level requirements or functionalities, and team level architects are responsible for creating the technical user stories. When we create these user stories, where are we going to save these user stories? These user stories are created and made as a part of the product backlog. The reason being, these user stories are going to deliver each and every goal, because every user story has a goal. So all the goals together is going to contribute for the product. So now let's try to understand some information about these user stories, how it should look like. We need to ensure every user story is having a logical goal or an outcome. We should not create a story just for a placeholder of task. It should not be something I want to manage 10 tasks which are available. So let me create a user story as a parent holder so that all these tasks can be added over there. That should not be the case. Every user story has a goal. Second point, if we feel multiple goals are associated with the story, then we are making the story much more complex. When I say it is getting complicated or complex, there are chances we may not be able to estimate it. Estimation is a separate topic, but for a quick reference, estimation is to understand what are the dependencies, what are the risks, what are the complexities, what is the amount of work that is required, everything together contribute and bring the estimation. So when we say the user story is complicated or complex, we cannot estimate it. In that case, it is always advisable and it is a best practice, do not associate multiple goals in a user story, which means every user story should have a goal, but it should not have more than one goal. The reason is, if we add more and more goals, there is a chance that we may dilute and we will not be able to estimate it properly. Every user story should be in a position to estimate it so that we will be able to understand when we will be able to pick that, when we will be able to resolve the dependencies risk related to it, what is the amount of work that is required for that, and what is the complexity that is involved. So all these things, with the help of the estimation of the user story, we will be able to get it. Now let's talk about the next section. So now we know what is a user story and what is actually the user story best practices are. Now let's try to understand how the structure of the user story should look like. The structure of the user story should follow 3C model. What is this 3C? Card, conversation, confirmation. Again, I am repeating, it is card, confirmation and conversation. Card, conversation and confirmation are the 3C. Okay, what is this model all about? When we say card is nothing but the title. The title of the user story itself should tell for which user we are creating that, means which role we are creating that, and what is the goal or the outcome that we are expecting out of it, and out of that goal or the outcome, what is the benefit it is going to give to the user. So who is the person, what the person is doing, and why it is being developed, and what is the benefit it is bringing. All these things are captured as part of the card. When I say how can even it is possible to capture all these details in a title? Yes, it is possible. As I mentioned, we are going to talk about a role, we are going to talk about the goal, and then we are going to talk about the benefit. When I say role, as which type of user? Is it a normal user, or for which user you are trying to bring this functionality? And the goal is all about what you are trying to achieve out of it. And benefit is all about with that what is the benefit we are going to get. So as a user, I want to search product categories so that I should be able to select the required product in the retail section. As a user, it's a common user, normal user, end user. That is the role. What is the goal of this? Search functionality should be implemented. For what? So that I should be able to select the categories and pick the item in the retail section. So with this title itself, are we trying to explain what is the functionality that we are going to develop, for whom we are going to develop, and what is the change we are going to bring out of this functionality? Is that completely available in the title itself? Let's see one more example. As an admin user, I want to create category admins so that category admins can create different categories in the retail section. So here, as an admin user, I'm going to perform this functionality. So we know for whom we are developing it. And what is the goal of this functionality? The goal is very simple. We are going to create category admins. For what purpose? They are going to create the respective categories and manage it. So this is as simple as the first C, that is the card, which talks about the title. In turn, it talks about the role, goal, and the associated outcome or the benefit. Next C is all about conversation. User story is something that is written, and just like that we will be freezing that topic. It's not like that. We will try to add more discussion, understand the functionality, make a room for changes, and then we will be applying it, and those changes will help us to refine the user story in a better way and bring the user story in such a way that we have all the details. So this is nothing but the description of the user story. So description is something initially product owner has few details, and more the product owner is refining the user story with the team. There is a room or there is an option for team to bring changes. And these changes are also added as part of the description, and that is going to be delivered as the entire functionality. So the second C is all about the conversation. With the conversation, we are going to refine description in a better way. Third one is confirmation. As the name suggests, it is all about confirming what this functionality is going to deliver. And this confirmation section is used with the help of acceptance criteria of the user story. This acceptance criteria talks about all the use cases that are relevant, all the detailed information about the functionality is available, and what are the expectations when we are performing this particular functionality by a user. All these things are captured in this acceptance criteria. As a part of the refinement, we as a team discuss more about this acceptance criteria and bring much more clarity. This acceptance criteria is going to help the testers to bring the acceptance test cases, because acceptance criteria is all about use cases, so it is going to help the testers to bring down all the information. And this acceptance criteria is also going to help the developer to create different scenarios that need to be implemented for this functionality. And product owner is also going to verify this acceptance criteria is met or not before accepting the user story. So this is one of the very important thing in the user story, because it is going to help everyone, even though all the other values, like for example card, conversation is also helping, but the confirmation is one place where we are trying to capture most of the details related to the acceptance criteria. So now we talked about what is a user story, or the kind of best practices, and the structure of the user story. More to come with the user story, because it's a very big topic. So in the next episode, we will understand what is the characteristic of the user story, and what are the characteristics of the acceptance criteria, and then we will see how we will be able to estimate it and what are the different types of user stories. Hope this episode is helpful to many people to get the understanding about the user story. Thanks everyone for listening. Stay tuned.